Right. Hooray! They finally released it. I don't get it, man. Like, if it says releases at 6 o'clock, and then they live stream at 6 o'clock for half an hour before finally releasing it. If they wanted to live stream for half an hour beforehand, can they not just start at 5:30 and then release it at 6 o'clock like planned? But whatever. Let's just jump into this Apex Survival update and we'll have a look in the creative mode, what the things are like. Look at that list of DLCs under the Space Engineers title logo. 18 DLC, man. Still, one of the things they add in the DLC pack looks very interesting. It's upgrades to the tools, like the vehicle tools. Alright, so no, not one paradigm, blah 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 blah. Ore detectors, what we're looking for. Well, we could just look for Apex Survival, can't we? Let's see. So we'll get the drill type 2. There should be a ore detector type 2. And ore detector. Yeah, so now let's have a look at the ranges we can get on this. Right, so we've got that one and that one, so we'll open that up. Ore detector. Largest range on a large grid is 150. Ore detector type 2 is 150. What is the difference between a type 2 and a type 1 then? Is it just what it looks like? Is it limited because the other one's there? Ore detector type 2. Yeah, it's still 150. So is this just like visual upgrade? So I'm gonna be very annoyed. But then again, it is a DLC thing, so chances are it's not going to have any physical upgrade. But right, let's find yay. So we'll put that there. Right, so what's the button again? Oh, I'm not controlling it just yet, am I? No, I am. Okay, we're gonna ignore that. Let me just check that. We have to build a whole new. That might be it. Mm. Okay. We're gonna pretend that doesn't exist. What about you? Can you move forward? Right, okay, we're gonna use this one then. What, a whole load of hula? Hmm. Alright. Well, I got him at the Type 2 does dig out a larger area. Okay. Maybe it is not all. Mm-hmm. That goes up to 50, and that goes up to 50 by default. Yeah, at this point, that drill is just kidding itself on at that point. So, yes, okay, there might be a bit better performance with the bucket scoop, but I don't really see how much a difference it's going to make. They both have the same shape, both have the same inputs and outputs. They both have the same right click value, but the left click on the bucket seemed a bit bigger. Or maybe it was just how I angled and it just got lucky. Let's see what else we got in this Apex Survival. Wrong button. It has a 15,000 litre. 5,000. 40,000. Compared to other ones. 30,000 is a cargo crate. So that's basically the same as a cargo crate. It actually is better than a cargo crate. It's half a reactor. And it's like a quarter of a cargo container. A cargo container takes up the same space in one block, but it has 4 times the capacity. So it's really more a decor thing, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, by the way. It's just not one that I would use. We have a dick, apparently. Okay. What's wrong with it? Does it need components to weld with, or is it just air power? Probably there's nothing nearby for it to do. Okay. Come on, spin for the win. So it's not that far in front of it that I can do. Maybe about 2 small blocks. Okay. Now, let's turn on this one. Two blocks in front. About the same time, so yeah, it's not that different from I think they're just graphical alternatives to, or visual alternatives to what we currently have, which is fine. I mean, let's have a look at that. Yeah, I've both got the same components on it, so it's slightly just visual update or visual alternative. Right, so this just produces oxygen. And this produces algae. Alright, so 5 or 6 minutes at half efficiency. How long does your energy bar last you though, and how much does the algae pack give you? That's a question. As to how many you'd need to keep you going. 1 litre a minute. Okay. I mean, they're showing pretty decent input, so. Again, it's not game breaking. Yeah, I want to see how the survival kit compares to the. Is it just another visual thing? This. Yeah, this looks like a visual differential. Again, it's not an issue. Right, so there is a hole in the top and the bottom, and nowhere else. Bottom. And 2 little ones in the top. So this is more of an upright survival kit than the other one was. The other one was horizontal, this one's upright. Okay. So it's more of a visual upgrade again. Yeah, and it can't do anything really that the other one can't do, so I'm guessing this is just completely visual. I mean, it's a DLC for space engineers. They don't usually give better items in the DLC. Usually. I say usually. Right, let's have a look at these two. Okay, we get butterflies and snails. We get ants and moths and shit. Okay. If we break it, if we shoot it until it breaks, will all the insects get away? Probably. Or they'll just die in an environment because it's a terrarium to keep them safe. Right. Anyway, so. Okay, so we can have square piston heads now. Okay, so is that just to make it a bit more like fits in with the blocks around it, sort of thing, so it looks more visually pleasing? Again, I am not against visual blocks. I prefer to look at the practical stuff first. Inverted corner for round ones. Okay, that's probably just to give you more options. Okay, this is the planters. So, where is the food processor? There is our lovely food processor. I bet there's one underneath as well. They've gone very vertical with this update, haven't they? Right, cooked mammal meat, cooked insect meat, meal pack for kelp, fruit bar, garden slaw, coleslaw, I think they mean. Red pellets, vegetables and fruit and vegetables, chili. Okay, flatbread, ramen, fruit pastry, oh, so they have different fill values, starting down here at 12%, and up to here at 46%, and the steak dinner's 100%. Seared sabroid. Algae, grains, vegetable, mushrooms. Okay, frontier stew, mushrooms, grain, algae, and insect meat. Burrito, okay. Lasagna. It's a me, Mario. Spaghetti. I mean, 70% is not that bad. Grain, vegetables, and mushrooms. Veg, algae, and insect meat. Curry and veggie burger. Grain, vegetables, and mushrooms is a veggie burger. Oh, how lovely. Someone must be putting something in those mushrooms to make them believe they're eating meat there. Or perhaps it's those special mushrooms they're taking. What the fuck is that in timer block? Oh, the action relay. I never use them, so... What a lovely description. If I touch the jump drive to the planet, can I just jump the planet? Probably not. This is an instant refill station. Okay, so it's not that bad. They've added the. I'll go have a look and see. Yeah, there we go. So the food pack, algae farm. There's an algae farm somewhere. An irrigation system and farm plot. Okay, we've got to find those. There we go. Irrigation system. I'm assuming it waters whatever blocks are attached to the top of it. I've managed to avoid algae farm and oxygen farm. So it needs ice. Where could I get a large quantity of ice, I wonder? But no. This is all of water. What's it, shift 11? No, it's not. Item, search for seed. And then we want mush. That's spores for them. Right, 22 seconds is 1%. So 100 times that would be 2,200 seconds, and that would give you about 30 6 72 seconds, 72 minutes to grow. Seriously? Yeah, about 70, 60 to an hour, roughly, to grow a fucking crop. Oh, hang on, the veggies grow faster. So they grow at twice the speed, so at half an hour. They grow at 3 times the speed, so 20 minutes. They consume a fuck ton of water. The fruit consume the most water, and the mushies use not much water, and grow really, really rapidly. Mushies are good for survival, but then again, algae is probably the best for survival as it only consumes electricity and you get, oh look. That's what, about 15 minutes to fucking algae pack. Whereas this is like 20 minutes and requires water. This is like an hour and requires a fuck ton of water. This is half an hour and requires a fuck ton of water. And this is sorry, this is 30 minutes and requires a fuck ton of water. And this is an hour and requires a fuck ton of water. Yeah, mushrooms win out with for the water-based plants or water-based things to grow. Mushrooms win, but if you just want cheap and easy food, I guess algae is winning out there. That depends on the food processor. What algae requires 4 algae, so I can get 1 algae pack that fills me up by 12% in about an hour. 1 grain and 1 fruit, which takes about an hour anyway, for 18%. Right. 22% for 2 veg and a fruit. Which one's the fastest? The veg. So, in an hour I could get 22% for coleslaw. 2 fruit. Fuck me sideways. A fruit, a veg, and a grain. So an hour to get 34%. 2 algae, a grain, and a veg. An hour to get 36%. A grain and a fruit, 2 of. So that's 2 hours for 40%. At this point, the ramen's starting to win. Like 2 vegetables, a grain, and a mushroom. So you can do that in an hour and you get 46. With veggie burgers are now starting to win. And I mean, you get lots of mushrooms while you're at it as well, so hey. Meal pack for curry. The fruit is the longest one. So 2 hours for that meal pack. 2 algae, meat, and veg. So call that half an hour to get 48%. If you have like saberoids in hand. So you'd have to kill a saberoid to get the meat for this, by the way. So it's not a reliable source. Right, 2 grain, a veg, and a mushroom. So basically 2 hours. 3 grain, 3 hours. Fuck that shit. 2 grain, a veg, and a mammal meat. Again, 2 grain, 2 veg. So it's going to take 2 hours. But you get 89% at this point. 2 hours for 89% versus the veggie burger 46, which is an hour. Yeah, that's you can eat 2 of them in an hour in 2 hours, and still have more pill value in this. Frontier stew: 2 mushrooms, 2 algae, and a grain, and insect meat. Well, if it, other than the insect meat, which you'd have to go out hunt, that's an hour. And it gives you 94%, so it's actually beating the veggie burger now. But it loses out on the fact that you have to go out hunting. Insect meat, algae, mushrooms, veg, grain, an hour, and it's 100%. Hour and 100%, but you still need the meat. Okay, so the veggie burger is probably going to be your best bet. So the veggie burger is probably the best bet for like renewability. Algae packs, why'd there have to be 4 of them? I mean, you can have multiple plots, right? You could have multiple plots. I'm not taking multiple plots into account. I'm taking if you have one of each growing into account here. What you, again, you could just double your grains and mushrooms. Have 2 grain, 2 mushrooms, and 1 veg, and then you'd have half an hour for a veggie burger. Okay. Oh no, hang on. The grain's 1 hour. Is it? No. Let's check that. The mushrooms are 20 minutes. The grain is an hour. The vegetables are half an hour each. So either way, you still require an hour for the veggie burger. It was right. Okay. So let me just double check that. Yeah, 2 veg. That's the problem. It would still be an hour then. Never mind. That one's actually losing out then compared to these. Two fruit. The fruit is an hour each. So that's definitely 2 hours for one of them. Vegetables and algae with insect meat. Algae is like 15 minutes. Vegetables are half an hour. So that's half an hour to get the ingredients you require. And then insect meat. So the green pellets is pretty decent. Yeah, so not taking into account having multiple farms. Yeah. That is actually, someone that Keen is like, went, what's the weirdest way we can balance this? That's an hour and a half to get 30%. Fruit and veg, again, 2 hours there. Grain, veg, and fruit, an hour to get 34%. Grain and veg, hour for 36%. 2 grain, 2 fruit, fuck that, that's like 2 hours. An hour. 2 hours. Again, that's half an hour. Half an hour for 48%. That's going to be the best meal pack there. But you're required to hunt insects for it. Yeah. And from here out is all meat products. These are all meat requirements. And that one is too. Yeah, there's some weird balance in there. This is based on mass production, like. This is based on the fact that you just have to keep producing. But the problem is, these require ice to irrigate them. So eventually your food's going to run out. Eventually, at some fucking point, you're going to run out of food because unless you can grow this shit without water, and water just makes it go faster. Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay, how is the water level high? Give me my fucking seeds back. How is the water level high? Is it just because I'm in creative mode? Yeah, it's probably a creative mode thing. It's probably just maintain high water level. So can it grow without water? Or would it have no water, just slow it down? Like, yeah, see what I mean? Like, it's 94%, 11 minutes, so that's like 15 minutes. The veg is over halfway done, so that's 60% at 12 minutes. Yeah, so 20 minutes for that. And that's like 12 minutes. Okay. Still not that great. So about 40% at 12 minutes. So 30 minutes to grow that. Even that, the ratio's like still at that. I need to know how much your health bar goes down, or how much your hunger bar goes down. Is it just better just having an algae farm and just making lots of algae crisps? Because that's like, that's been 4 in the time that they've grown, which is 12 minutes. So it's probably about 15 minutes for 4 of them, which is a meal. Okay. Okay, so that's okay. It's got weird growth time. So they're done. You get 3 per. Oh, this changes things. How many you get per harvest changes things. I did not consider that. 3 mushrooms per harvest. Okay, so things are starting to look a bit better. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be then, if you can get like 3 per harvest. Hit refinery assembler. I don't really care how it fucking looks right now. How would I make seeds? I know there's a way to make seeds. Oh! Right, so then I can make seeds from the food processor. Okay, so I'm putting the 3 mushes. I could like make 1 into seeds and use the other 2 for food. Okay. So the amount you get out of it is probably going to change my viewpoint on this a bit. Because that's 20% then. That's 20 minutes. And that's roughly what? Oh my god, it's not even 50%. So that's what going to use just over half an hour to get that. So that depends. This will all depend on how much you get out of those, in terms of how useful each of the meals are. But apparently they did a bit better on the fucking. Okay. This might change how algae is useful if that's the case. If this algae farm. So this big ass algae farm, 56%, 5 minutes to an algae pack. %, and yeah, I think it'll be easier just to put another one down. Yeah, so the half blocks are exactly the same as the full block one there. And you could literally put a conveyor block there, another one there, and it'll just catch the light all day long and produce you algae, which then can be produced into fucking algae meal packs or whatever. I wonder if the lights affect it. No. Well, that requires 20 kilowatts. That requires 20 kilowatts. That is 1, 2, 3 blocks tall. That is 3 blocks tall. That takes up a 3x1. This takes up a 3x1. It's the same fucking block. They just look different. Fair enough, but yeah. Now, question: is it a small block? Okay. So they're only for large blocks. Only for large blocks. So you could easily just only have one of these. But how much output does it have at max? Oh, I know how to test the farm plot. I'm being a dummy. Just don't connect it up to it. Nope. No, never mind. I mean, could you just farm on the side? Could you? Stuart, you have to spawn the fucking object that you want. Yep, it gives no shits for gravity. Good to know. Farm plots do not give fucks for gravity. Does that mean I can just build one upside down? I mean, ideas could be to be had there. You can have one here, and then yes. Let me try out that. How do I do this? That gives me what I need to get up there. I don't give a fuck about how it looks. Now, okay. Um. Yep, it gives no fucks about gravity. I was kind of hoping for an auto harvest system. They already put it upside down and it just falls out when it's ready. Yeah. Oh, they're done. You only get 2 veggies for 20 minutes. Okay. Now still, that's not too bad. So 3 mushies in 15 minutes. 2 veggies in 20 minutes. 23 minutes. 75%, 66%. So we're 2/3 of the way there. So 36 minutes for that. Right, 3/4 of the way there at about 22%. So that's what, about 30 minutes. So 30 minutes for grains and 36 minutes for veg. Fruit. I mean, it all depends on the yields. This is weird. You're gonna have to mass harvest things to get what you want. Yeah, protodect drills just sitting there. And we've got these dumbass grinders, which are basically just visual differences, no more. Like, that's the normal grinder there, that's the new grinder here, the grinder Mark II, and you'd think Mark II means it's going to be better. Yeah, so grinder type 2. Okay, type 2, not Mark II. Never mind, I misread. Still, it's a huge disappointment. And how much water does that make? It's not giving me an output here, only a power input, not how much water outputs. I mean, it's barely used a K of ice, but ice will run out at some point. So the question is, how many algae farms does it take for me to survive? So that'll require me finding out how much your food bar goes down. You know, how long it takes to go down 12%, which is what you get from an algae meal pack. Would 4 of these suffice? Like, so you get one every 6 minutes, you get 12% of your food back. If you have 4, and would that be enough? Does your hunger deplete the more you run? Like, does sprinting affect your hunger depletion? Because what's the point of the energy bar if you need hunger as well? You know, this is the thing that pisses me off about survival modes. Is I've got 5 health bars now. 6, maybe, in a different viewpoint. Under a different viewpoint, I have 6 health bars. Right, so I have health. Health gets to 0, I die. Energy, if it gets to 0 in space, I die. Or in an oxygenless environment, I die when energy gets to 0. I have O2, it gets to 0, I die. I have H2 there, hydrogen. Again, technically, if it gets to 0, I die because... You know. So, And that's 4 health bars right now. Technically it's free, but we've got 4 health bars because hydrogen is definitely a health bar as well. Because, you know, if you're using hydrogen, you're probably at a height that's going to kill you when you run out. So now we have hunger. Hunger gets to 0, you die. Radiation. Okay, radiation is the reverse of a health bar. Radiation gets to 100%, you die. So you now got 6 ways to die in Space Engineers. Congratulations, you fucking retards. We now have 6 ways to die. Because you wanted realism. Well done. I am so happy about that decision. To have 6 separate ways of dying. You know, it's 6 separate ways to die now. Why have I got a... Do you know? I don't actually want to know. I think I blew up something and forgot to move a vehicle. Why have I got... Why have I got... one of these out here? Was I test piloting it? Did I actually give the name to it? Oops. No, I don't have it on there. Do I? Yeah, I was looking at something in this workshop and it wasn't that fucking brilliant. Yeah, I got a little lifeboat there. Yeah, I had a look at this thing as well. Yeah. Some people have got too much time on their hands. There we go. We got a GDI mammoth tank. Got mammoth thrust missiles here. And we've got the 120mm forward facing cannons. And yet... Okay. Now we get to try out... Mammal meaty. Just shoot it a few more times to be safe. Right, it's not getting back up, it's not a zombie wolf. So you get 4 meat from a single wolf. I mean, that's not too bad, but how long does it take a wolf to fucking spawn and come here? I probably died of starvation in any time. Right, so what we got? We get 2 grain for half an hour. Wow, guys, that's a fucking lot. $15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Mushrooms grow like fuck, man. Again, 36 minutes for that one. But we'll take that into account when I look at when I... What the fuck? Oh, that's the small grid. Survival kit. Right. So that can make you a flare gun, a flare gun clip. Uh, basic tools, a handgun magazine, and a meal pack. You can make meal packs of kelp inside a survival kit. Fair enough. Right. This fruit takes fucking forever. It better have a good harvest on it. So far, it's like 5 minutes a mushroom. It is 10 minutes to a fucking piece of veg. And it's 50 minutes to a piece of fucking grain. And fruit. I mean, that changes the calculation times on this. So one harvest, we can make a veggie burger. And that's 30 minutes to make a veggie burger. And we'd have leftovers, 1 grain and 2 mushrooms. Can we actually make it with a grain and a mushroom? No. We could make a dumpling. We could make burrito or lasagna if we had the meat. And if we cooked the mammal meat, we could actually make... So if we had cooked mammal meat, with the fruit, we could make the steak dinner, which is 100%. We only need algae, mushrooms, grain, and vegetables. You don't even need fruit. So in 20 minutes, you could make... Well, in 30 minutes, you could make two seared sabroids if you have the seared sabroid meat. Grain and mushrooms, again, it's still going to take 30 minutes because you need the grain, which takes 30 minutes to grow regardless. Grain, vegetables, and mammal meat, again, 30 minutes. Grain, vegetables, and mammal meat. What's the difference? 2 veg in that one. Yeah, that's so amazing. Right, so... Oh, finally, these fuckers ready. Free fruit. So that's 1 fruit every 12 minutes. We can make the full steak dinner, folks. It only takes 36 minutes to grow all the shit you need. And you could only make 2 of them. So amazing. And why have I got to eat a fucking wolf though? I'm not eating a dog, I own a dog. So 2 grain. 2 grain, 2 veg, 3 fruit. Sorry, 2 grain, 1 veg, 1 mush. 1, 1, 2. The fruit is going to be the pain in the arse on that one. The veggie burger, 2 veg, which was 20 minutes. A mushroom, which is 5 minutes. Grain, which is 15 minutes. Per. So regardless, it's taking you 20 minutes to actually get a meal out of this. And at the time, so 20 minutes for a meal at 46%. How much this is survivable? That's, I mean, I have to know how quickly. To understand how much you'd need to know how fast the hunger bar goes down. The information that it grows without giving a fuck for gravity is good. I mean, this does not give any fucks for gravity. Now, there is other things in the pack. Like the ore detector type 2 is just an ore detector. It doesn't actually increase your distance anything. So it's useless. The storage bin for 40,000 litres in a single pallet. Whereas a single storage box, a storage crate, has 160,000. That's a quarter of a storage crate. Just a normal storage crate, not storage crate, cargo container. Sorry, cargo container. That's a quarter of a cargo container for storage, but it takes up the same space as a cargo container. It's totally not worth it. Now, is this planter an actual block? Does it do anything? It doesn't look like it. It's just plants in space. Boink. Yeah, so it doesn't have anything on it. There's no connection points. It's just plants in space. It doesn't even provide oxygen. Right. Signs. Well. Ooh, a light. I mean, well, it's just a decorative thing. This is sort of like a light that doesn't poke out too much. So you can easily put it in a corridor. And if you put it down like that, the pipes are into the ground, so... Hey ho. It's not actually causing any problems. Apart from the exposed plugs here, but hey ho. If you die from sticking your fingers in there or some other part of your body in there, well, you pretty much deserve it at that point. Yeah, and the terrariums, let's see how they're doing. Where did I put the fucking terrariums? Terrariums, where are you all? Yeah, snails go. My niece would like this because it's the only animal in the world that can't get away from her as a snail. Every other animal sees her coming and just fucking legs it. Let's see, we have the ants in there, the moth, and whatever the fuck that is, some kind of fucking bitchy fucking insect is probably what it is. Yay. So there you have it. We've had a look at this Apex Survival. I mean, efficiency wise, I'm having to guess that the people at Keen Software just took a dartboard and threw darts at it and said, Number 3, yeah, that's how many we're going to grow at this. Right, what we've got now, we've got double 18, right? 36 minutes, yeah, that's how long it's going to take to grow it. Because there doesn't seem to be any, like, for the time it takes to get the ingredients to make this sort of thing, you're better off just making that. Yeah. You can get 2 veg in the time it takes you to get the 1 grain sort of thing. And the mushroom. And you're like 20 minutes for that, regardless, because you need 2 vegetables. This one, you need 1 veg, 1 mushroom, and 2 grain. The grain is, what was it again? 15 minutes each. 30 minutes to get 2. So you're looking for 30 minutes to get that. So that requires a whole 50% extra time to give you 5% extra fill. I'll just go for the veggie burger, man. Again, that's 2 fruit and 2 grain. That's you're looking at half an hour to make a fruit pastry for 40%. A grain, a veg, and a fruit. That's not so bad. You can have 2 of them in 20 minutes. Which then is 68% compared to the 46%. But you need the fruit as well. So you're growing 3 things and 3 things and 3 things. Fruit and veg for that, 23%. 2 fruit and a veg. That's what, 24 minutes and 15 minutes. So yeah. 2 veg and a fruit. That's 20 minutes and 12 minutes. 20 minutes to do 22% is, yeah, it's not that brilliant. I don't know how they balance this. I just feel like they threw darts at a dartboard for like the values. Like let's just put this in an RNG generator. How long is it going to take to make this? And how much percentage do you get back from making this? I mean, if you're going for a system where, like, don't get me wrong, if you're trying for the most chaotic, most random ass system possible, then well done, you've achieved your goal. I mean, yeah. But if you're going for something where there's progression and reward for that progression, then you've not achieved it. Because this thing outpaces this. Because that's a full 15 minutes. Plus you have to go hunting to find mammal meat. So you're wasting resources at that point. You're wasting ice to grow all this shit. You're wasting bullets, which requires magnesium and all that shit. These are all finite resources. Yeah. I know you could use a trading station. But if you're going to use the trading station to buy ice and magnesium and bullets and shit, why not just go to the trading station and just buy the fucking food? You know what I mean? If you can go to the trading station to buy your ice and your fucking bullets to make this, why not just buy the fucking food? I'm just saying that before somebody points out that you can buy ice and whatever at a trading station. If you can buy ice and that at a trading station, you can go and buy your fucking food there. And just cut out the middleman and all the time wasted waiting for the fucking food. You can just go straight there, buy it, and instant meal within 2 seconds. Whereas this, you go and buy all the ice, you go buy all the fucking food, or buy all the bullets, and then you have to go to spend time hunting. And then you have to fucking grow all the food. And then after all that shit, you have to make it using your own energy and your own power. And your own energy and power to grow this fucking shit. And all your own magnesium and whatever to make the bullets. You're just better off going to an NPC trading station and just buying all your food. rather than going through all this crap. You know, it's supposed to feel rewarding. Where's the reward? And I can just go to the trading station and buy what I need quicker. Don't get me wrong, I am happy that they're trying to improve the game. I am not faulting them for that. I think somebody's missed the point. I think, not to put too much of a fucking finger on it, that they've listened too much to the player base. Or rather, certain members of the player base who they've listened to the vocal minority, to be more precise. Yeah. Never listened to the vocal minority. They never know what they fucking want. The vocal minority don't actually know what they want. They just want to be loud. I mean, that's like 15 fucking algae. That's almost 4 fucking algae packs, which is 48%. Compared to the, like, the energy you need to run this motherfucker. 250 kilowatts. And... where's the farm? What's the farm plot take? It takes 20 kilowatts each. So you're talking 330 kilowatts to keep this running. Versus the 80 kilowatts to get yourself the algae meal packs, which are infinite. And that's to get something that gives you 46%. Was it? Yeah, 46% fill value. Or this one, which is actually pretty decent for the time it takes, is 40% fill value for fucking... yeah. So we're going from 80 kilowatts to 330 or 290 kilowatts, depending on what you want to make. Just to get your meals. Get the same 40% every, like, 20 minutes. Every 20 to 30 minutes you'll get 48%. Every 20 to 30 minutes you'll get 48% out of that, 46% out of that, and that costs you like 330 or to the 80 kilowatts of power you need for that. So yeah, 40 to 46% fill value to the 48% fill value. This is infinite, requires nothing but electricity. This costs you ice, which will run out. This will cost you bullets, which will run out. And this, they both cost you electricity. So yeah, and again, I'm talking run out if you don't buy things from a shop. If you buy things from a shop, just go buy the fucking food directly. You know, it just seems like a massive waste of time doing all this crap where you could just put out some algae farms and then just go buy what you need from the shop. And again, I am not shitting on Keen. They're trying to do things right, okay? They're trying. They're not succeeding. Again, I think the problem is they just listen to the vocal minority. Everybody's like, survival, must have food, must have hunger. And now I've got 6 fucking ways to die. I can run out of health and die. I can run out of energy and die. Circumstantial. You have to be in outer space or a non-oxygen environment. I can run out of oxygen and die. I can run out of hydrogen and die. Again, circumstantial. At the point where you run out of hydrogen, you're probably in the air and probably high enough that you're going to die from the fall. So that's another way to die. Run out of hydrogen. And now we've got hunger bar. Run out of hunger bar and you die. And then finally we have radiation bar. You will again polar opposite. You you fill up your radiation bar and you die. And the only place you're safe from radiation is on Earth or in a sealed habitat on the non-atmospheric planets. I think Alien has enough. Alien might have enough atmosphere to protect you from the solar radiation. Maybe, not sure. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, I have 6 ways to die now, and there's a shit ton of effort to use these farms to make food when I could just stick up a bunch of algae farms and eat a fucking algae crisps. That you just stick it in there, you hook up to a fucking food processor with some pipes, and then you just set the food processor to just cook fucking algae crisps over and over and over and over. I mean, 2,000 kelp crisps, it'll just keep cooking them until it runs out. And if you hook up to that, welfare days, you'll soon have the fucking... I mean, that's variable concerned for the time, for the daylight. So the times it takes to make things can vary. Like in the night time, you won't get much of it, or at all. So it's only available half the day. But if you're going to get like every 5 minutes, how long's the daylight cycle? It's about an hour. So you're going to get quite a fucking few out of that. At 4, if you have 4 of them, you would get what? 12? Maybe 15 each. So that's 12 or 15 meal packs at 12%. How long does that? The question is, how long does that last you? That is the biggest question here. How long does that fucking 12 to 15% last you? How much did that go underground, actually? This has barely touched anything yet. I turned it on just to see what it would do. I could put a large cargo container there and just let it siphon out. Because part of me is curious, like, how much can it fucking hold? But yeah. Protect. And how far down can that actually go from itself? Well, it's getting ice from somewhere. I wonder how big the fucking radius in that is. I never actually checked. But if I can drill out... Yeah, it's drilling down. Right, anyway. Yeah, so I was testing out this shit. So, yeah. The Apex DLC is just basically visual alternatives. My orker sacrificed itself to test this, okay? This is my GDI orker right here. And it sacrificed its own life to let us test how much these grinders grind. And it's only 2 small blocks away from the front of the fucking grinder that it does. A small block is like a fifth of a fucking large block. So it's barely half of a large block in front of itself, which is the same as the other grinder. So the 2 grinders are the same. This large cargo crate, storage bin pallet, for 40,000 litres at the current settings Oh, I think it's 10 times inventory. And that takes up a 1x1 block. A cargo container, normal sized, is 1x1x1 and has 156 litres capacity. That's just shy. It's like, it's just 4 times it almost. It's like 3.9 times the fucking cargo capacity for the same space it takes up. So, where did this? Oh, that must have been a previous update. This got added, and I just never realised. Yeah. So there's nothing extraordinary about these blocks. They're just visual extras. Visual alternatives. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with that per se. The pack's cheap enough that just for graphical options, it's not a bad thing. But some of them add in these fucking cockpits that are useful. It's like, there's not a graphical update. That cockpit's fucking useful. There was a storage crate that got added in. Or a cargo container got added in. I can't remember what DLC added it in. Field work. There's like a new. Oh, it's a new door as well. The corridor door inverted. That got added as well. Yeah, was it the one before that? I can't remember. Which one it was? There it is, modular cargo container. This one is a pretty fucking decent one. And it's like a small ship only. But there it is, actually, it's in the back of this. And it has 100,000 litre capacity. Compared to the 33,000 litre capacity. And for the space it takes up, I'd rather have one of them than one of them. And this is 156,000 capacity. And that's a 5x5x5, whereas this is, I think it's 5x7x3. And that's what, 35, 105. Well, that's 125 blocks. So that's a quarter extra space to get 50% extra capacity. So it does sort of lose out, but I prefer this one anyway. Because it has better fucking options for where to put your connections. And it's visually easier to tell where the connection points are for the small and big. So I prefer this one over that one. So it's not just the capacity of it, it's like connection points as well. What was the other one that they added? It was a cockpit. It was a cockpit got added in a DLC. It had good connection points. It might be this one actually. The flush cockpit. Yeah. So they've added things in DLC that have been really fucking useful before. Like, not just cosmetic, they're actually useful. You're still going. Yes, you are. Right, so yeah, they have actually added a useful ship before in a DLC. It wasn't just cosmetic, although they probably didn't intend for it to be that. It's just I find it useful. Yeah, so like I said, I think these algae farms are going to be far superior to actual farming. Like I said, finite resources. I know this lake's going to provide enough ice to keep that going longer than a game can go. Like, no normal person will be in the game long enough to use up this entire lake's worth of ice to farm. In that case, it's worth it, but I think I'll just stick to the algae, to be honest with you, depending on how much you need to survive. It's just a case of they've forgotten what progression is. They've just listened to the vocal minority. And the vocal minority is the ones going, we need survival, we need it to be hard. Oh no, I want this game to be hard as my mother's dick, blah 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 blah, and that's what you hear at them all the time. They want the game to be as hard as the mother's dick because they like getting rammed by the mum up the ass. So yeah. Overall, the cosmetic changes in the DLC. Well, I'm not a big guy in cosmetics. The whole verticality of this survival kit, as opposed to the horizontalness of the other survival kit, that's a pretty decent change. The whole food thing, I could do without. Luckily, I think there's an option in the settings to just turn it off. So, at least Keen thought of that. There's an option to turn the fucking thing off. And before somebody says it, yes, I'm aware. You can have an option to turn it off, okay? I ain't talking about for using it in this regard. Is like, that's not worth it at all. For the renewable resources you need to buy to keep this going off the trader, you may as well just buy the food. Anyway, so that's the DLC. That's the new Apex Survival stuff, and that's Apex Survival DLC as well. So I'm going to go and actually have a try and play it this possibly. I'll like play in survival mode, see how long things last, like how much hunger is there, and how long does it take hunger to go down, and how long will it take for it to piss me off that I now have 6 ways to die. I've already got 4. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I shall see you again sometime.